Greetings and salutations. Yes, I've started this channel late this year because I was sick. I apologize. I usually like to get started around combine time. Unable to do so with just chronic cough. I don't know if I'm allergic to everything in this entire state or what's going on, but I feel like it's a little bit more under control right now. I'm going to try to get a video done. Fun offseason for the Seahawks where we replaced our starting quarterback with kind of just a kind of a younger version of what we already had. Two of our starting wideouts are gone. We replaced them with a longtime division rival, former MVP in Cooper Kupp, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, who I loved coming out of the draft all those years ago. So we're kind of getting on the downside of his career, but he's going to try to replace Tyler Lockett as best he can. Some other signings across the board that I'm not as happy about. Ernest Jones is probably my favorite one. I was glad that we were able to get his signature down. He brought so much to our defense last year. He totally solidified it. He brought it all together like, Big Lebowski's rug. Just tied the D together. What's unusual, though, is that Schneider doesn't usually leave a big hole in the roster come draft day, right? He tries to just at least fill it with warm bodies so that come draft time we can just take the best player available and not worry about filling any glaring holes. There's a glaring Lincoln Tomlinson-sized hole on our offensive line. But, of course, Lincoln Tomlinson himself was a hole on the offensive line. He stunk. He was not good. These were his PFF grades. Say what you will about them, but this is just an objective scoring system to show if he's good or bad. And you can see he was not good. He was not a very good player for us last year. Even though he's one of the better players on our line, that just goes to show that our line was a mess last year. We have ostensibly... Now, we didn't really replace him with Josh Jones because Josh Jones seemed more of a swing, whatever. But we did target Josh Jones early. He's one of our early signings, and we gave him $4 million, and he's not very good. All of his scores across the board were worse than Lincoln Tomlinson's. Now, maybe they think it's 2022 Josh Jones, who played with the Cardinals and was decent then. He was kind of almost as good as Tevin Jenkins was last year. Which of course loses my point that Tevin Jenkins was in the building, and he was much better than Lincoln Tomlinson was last year. So at least he would have been that warm body that we wanted, but that warm body would have been better than anyone else on our line outside of Charles Cross, and we didn't sign him. So he goes to Cleveland for $1 million less than we're paying Josh Jones, who was horrible. Again, 75s across the board, 43, 68, 47. And we're paying him $4 million, or we're paying this guy nothing because Cleveland's paying him $1 million less. Why this happened, I don't know. People don't willingly go to Cleveland. I feel like we had to actively say, thanks anyway, Tevin Jenkins. We don't need you. Which blows my mind because, again, this is what we signed for $4 million. This is what Cleveland signed for $3 million. I don't get it. Same age. Tevin Jenkins is more physical, bigger. Now, my hypothesis is that Josh Jones was in the Ravens facility when Mike McDonald was there, and they passed each other in the hallway, and Josh Jones says, "Hey, Coach, nice hat." And Coach is like, "I got to remember this guy, Josh Jones." He complimented my hat. I don't know. I don't have an answer. I don't get it. We'll see how it plays out. I'm, of course, more than willing to be wrong. Maybe Josh Jones is a secret superstar. I doubt it. So anyway, glaring hole on the line, and this is going to have to be addressed come draft time, which is what we're just going to do now. I'm just going to jump right into it. I have compiled my favorites at every position, as I tend to do. Wideout is where I have most of my favorites. I think it's not as top-heavy a class as it was last year, but I think it's super deep. There are guys all the way through the 7th round and undrafteds that I really like. So we're just going to see how that plays out. All right, so let's go over to, I'm going to go over to the PFN mock draft simulator. I think it's a bit better than PFF's, which I usually use, but we're going to try this one. And I don't know if I'm going to do trades or not. We'll see how it comes. All right, so we're up, and this trade is not something I'm going to do. Okay, so Colson Loveland sticks out as a need. We definitely need a tight end, especially with the offensive coordinator that we have coming in. New look offense. They use the tight ends a lot more. They use more 2 wide receiver sets. Use a fullback sometimes. And along that note, I think with our new zone blocking system, I think our last year's third round pick, Christian Haynes, who I was big on, a lot of people were big on, but for some reason, I think just had a falling out with the coaching staff. I just think they didn't mesh. They played people above him. I think that I just don't know that they deserved it on talent. Maybe on, I don't know. I think there was a rift between Christian Haynes and the coaching staff last year. I really, really do. That's just my feeling. So I think maybe this year Christian Haynes can step up, and maybe we only need to replace one starter. Anyway, Colson Loveland is very attractive here for that reason. Nick Omenwari is really good too. John Schneider said that safety is one of the hardest positions to scout, and this is not a very deep safety draft. There are some good ones, but Nick Omenwari would be a really good pick here also. But I'm just going to skip right to the end and go for Gray Zabel. I know it's potentially early for him. We'll see how it plays out. But he's one of my favorite. He's tackle in college, but I think he's one of my favorite guard prospects. So we're just going to stick and pick there. They want to give us pick 157 to move down 3 spots. Let's see. They probably want Walter Nolan. So that would give us 50, 52, and 53. So we get one of these players, Landon Jackson, Carson Schweichinger, who's also a really standout special teams player. Trey Amos, probably my favorite corner. All right, we're just going to take this trade. We're going to just not get Walter Nolan, which is probably who I would take right here. And we're going to take their trade because we do have kind of a hole between 137 or whatever and 174. So, accept. Okay. So, yep, there goes Walter Nolan. And then Omarion Hampton goes to Denver, which is fair. But this leaves us Xavier Watts in Notre Dame, which is a really good pick. Again, not a very deep safety draft. There are a couple that I like later on. But I think Xavier Watts is going to be a really good player. And I'm going to take him here. And at 53, I want to take Trey Amos. But wideout, I don't want to miss out on Jaden Higgins, who is my guy. Dylan Knoll, also good. Jalen Rolls, fine. Isaiah Bond, fast guy. Jaden Higgins, I think, can play the X. I think X is going to be what we have on our roster right now. I don't think we have a true X receiver. Derek Young could probably do it, but, it's been years and he hasn't really shown up yet. I don't know if I want to not draft Jaden Higgins on the offside chance that our 7th round pick from a couple of years ago blossoms into a starter. It could happen, but I'm taking Jaden Higgins. My favorite wideout in the draft. Okay, 103 and 120 for 82. 83 and 156 for moving down 1 spot. Ooh, man, they're making it hard for me. Who would they take? Kevin Winston. Yeah, that's not going to hurt me at all to take that trade. Reject that one. Oh no, I rejected the wrong one. Okay, that's all right. We're just gonna stick and pick at 82 then. That sucked. I would have liked that extra pick. Okay, that's what you get for not paying too much attention. Okay, so we have Gray Zabel, Xavier Watts, Jaden Higgins. All right, Milroe Wilson is tempting to take right here. I like Olatimi. I don't know how the Seahawks feel about him. He acquitted himself, I thought, fairly well last year. But I just don't know how the Seahawks see him. I would like to take Edge. Edge kind of falls off pretty early too, but as does tight end. Let's see where we're at tight ends. Gunnar Helm. Gunnar Helm had a horrible combine, but he gutted through a bunch of injuries he probably shouldn't have performed that he did anyway, which I think impressed a lot of coaches there, even if his numbers looked bad. I think they have Noah Fant. I think they kind of serve the same purpose. So I'll probably skip that for now. Oh, man. I think we'll go Jordan Birch. Josiah Stewart. Jordan Birch. Do I want the big end or the pass rusher? Because we don't have Ray Harrison Johnson anymore, the guy from the Jags, and he kind of fit that spot really nicely. But Josiah Sturt is a demon possessed off the edge, and so is Omar Norman Lott, although he's a 3 tech. We don't really need. I really would prefer a 1 tech later than a 3 tech now. All right, Jordan Birch, we're gonna go him. Then at 92, we don't pick again until 137. So this puts me in a pickle because there's a lot of guys I want in the 100s that we're just gonna miss out on. We just don't have those picks. So I think corner is somewhere that we need, and I'm taking Kobe Bryant. Yeah, he's at 114. There's a lot of guys in between, but I just think he is a Seahawk through and through. He talks a lot and can back it up, and that's always fun to see. So Kobe Bryant it is. Now we wait a long time for our next pick at 137. In here, Quinn Ewers is sitting right there. I almost feel like we have to take him. I would prefer to take Charles Grant, but I feel like the Seahawks would like Quinn Ewers. Next pick is 157. I don't think Charles Grant's is gonna sit that long. All right, I'll go a different direction on quarterback, I guess, and just take Charles Grant here. 169, 177, reject. Okay. Demetrius Knight, Seahawk through and through. But I'm going to go Kyle Monaghy instead. I know it's a running back, and we have a great running back room, but Kenneth Walker is always hurt. So just to have that extra brutal tackle breaking machine in Kyle Monaghy, I'll just take him for now. Reject that. Oh man, Jack Kaiser, nice coverage linebacker would be nice. Another opportunity to take a center in Jake Majors. Jack Nelson at tackle, but I already got Charles Grant, so it's probably redundant. What else do we have at quarterback? Curtis Rourke. I like Curtis Rourke a lot. I don't think I need to take him here yet, though. Oh, let's see. Cam Jackson would be nice. I don't have a 1 tech. Let's see. Noah Williams, good. Vernon Broughton would be a good 3 tech. Taj Brooks, we already got a running back. Hunter Warler, nice safety. Oh, I'm in a weird spot here, aren't I? I don't really like Riley Mills. I don't like Ryan Leonard at all. Jonah Monheim or Jack Kaiser. We are going to go Jack Kaiser for some coverage. And at 175, I guess Jonah Monheim or Jake Majors. You know, I like Jake Majors better, but I think the NFL likes Jonah Monheim better. But I'm going to go Jake Majors. I'm going with my gut. All right, 2 more picks. We need a 1 tech and another, and I think there's LaQuint Allen is still here. He would fill in that Alvin Kamara role really well. Moloki Mataveo would be a nice tight end here. How are my whiteouts? Ja'Cory Brooks, love him at X, but he's kind of what we already have in Jaden Higgins. So I'm going to go Keandre Lambert-Smith. So underrated. This guy is... Everyone's talking about Kyle Williams out of Washington State, rightfully so. But I think Keandre Lambert-Smith is the lesser-known version of Kyle Williams. He is amazing. Blew up his pro day. Great route running, great everything. Keandre Lambert-Smith I think he's going to be a star. Completely honest, I think he's woefully overlooked right now. And last round is perfect for a one tech, just a one-dimensional run stopper, and that is Nazir Stackhouse. And we're good. Okay, so let's see what we came up with. Gray Zabel, Xavier Watts at safety, Jaden Higgins, wideout, Jordan Birch, big edge. He is 6'4", 279. So he kind of fits that Ray Robertson Harris mold that we traded for last year and we don't really have on our roster right now. Kobe Bryant, shit-talking corner that is so much fun to watch. Charles Grant, athletic, small school tackle with potential. Kyle Monagai, a lot of contact balance, tackle breaking machine. He's just a fun player to watch. Jack Kaiser, good coverage linebacker. Jake Majors, developmental safety. See what happens there. Keandre Lambert-Smith, secret superstar Keandre Lambert-Smith, and Nazir Stackhouse to just plug in there and help stop the run. Jonathan Hankins is gone, and he only played like 200 or so snaps. I think Nazir Stackhouse has the potential to beat that 327, 6'3", prototype nose tackle. For those formations, he's going to be great. Okay, thank you guys. I was able to get through it without having a paroxysm of coughing, which makes me happy. And we'll see what is in store for us next time. But I appreciate it. Comment, subscribe, do all the good stuff. The algorithm might appreciate it. And you guys have a good time. All right, bye.